So I've been getting a lot of requests to compare the Electro & Co. ETM RTR to the Talaria XXX, so that's exactly what we're doing today. But unfortunately, my XXX is not exactly stock. I happen to have over $4,000 in aftermarket modifications installed, so it's not exactly going to be stock versus stock, but that's gotten me curious to see how a completely unmodified ETM RTR performs compared to a hopped up Talaria XXX. If you look at both bikes side by side, they seem to be about a similar height, though the Talaria is slightly higher, mostly due to the aftermarket seat that I have installed. This is a Lunicycle float seat, which raises the seat height about ½ an inch. And I also have a set of Shinko 241s, 2.75 inch front and rear. So overall, it raised the seat height about an inch, but the handlebar height and seat height are about the same for both bikes in stock form. Though the RTR looks a little bit smaller overall since it's got a much smaller wheel set. It's got a 14-inch front and 12-inch rear. The Talaria's got 17-inch front and rear. My ETM RTR is completely unmodified besides a headlight and a custom seat cover by Bolts & Bolts. So stock suspension, stock brakes, original 25 amp hour lithium battery pack, and the stock motor and controller with a peak output of 8,000 watts. But this Talaria is putting out twice as much power. It's got a nuclear P24F controller, eWatt 74 volt 44 amp hour battery pack, and it's tuned for 16 kilowatts. It's got upgraded suspension. It's got a Riflosa fork and Riflosa rear shock. The brakes are pretty much stock besides a set of upgraded pads. It's got a 54 tooth rear sprocket right now since I was setting this up for off-road use. But this bike used to go over 62 miles per hour with a 44 tooth sprocket. As of right now, it goes about 50-51, but it accelerates extremely hard in comparison to all my other bikes. If you are interested in getting more information on all the parts we have installed on this Talaria XXX, I'll have the full parts list in the description below. And if you're unfamiliar with the ETM RTR and want to get more information on it, I'll have a link to the listing in the description as well. And you can also get yourself $160 off this bike by using discount code PADOutdoors5. All right, so we're going to be testing out the Talaria versus the ETM RTR. I'm 185 pounds. Justin, what do you weigh?
About 180. Yeah.
Okay, so we're about the same.
Yeah.
He's going to be riding the XXX for the most part, and I'm going to be on the RTR. You want to head out and do the street first?
Yeah, let's do the drag first.
Okay, yeah, let's do a speed run first. Yeah. I really don't get to ride this bike too often, so I'm glad we're going out today. You want to just drag race right off the bat?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, go. Oh, shit. So obviously the Talaria is going to accelerate faster than this RTR because that puts out 16 kilowatts, which is twice as much power. But as you can see, the RTR has a slightly higher top speed simply from how it's geared.
Yeah, I had to let off. This thing was weird.
Dude, that front end just popped up so quickly.
Oh shit.
You want to give it another run?
Yeah, just from a dig.
Yeah, all right.
Oh shit. Ready?
Yeah. All right, well, that should give you an idea what a stock RTR does in comparison to a $7,000 Talaria.
Let's check in here, man.
My favorite thing about these smaller bikes is just we can pretty much ride them anywhere and not piss anybody off.
This thing is fun picking the wheel up.
I may have set the gearing a little bit too aggressive on that.
I think it's fine. I think it makes it fun.
Yeah, it does make it more fun. So. All right, let's go. Do like a 3 mile an hour roll.
3 mile an hour? Okay.
God damn, that Talaria is just so fast. Inching away. That hurt. Oh shit. So that's a painful section. Ow. Justin's definitely riding a little bit faster than he did last time when he was on the Roar Mantis R. But obviously this is a much bigger bike and a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that thing?
This? Yeah, it's perfect.
You did ride that before at our property, right?
No.
Rode
This? No. It's
Yamaha.
Dirt bike. Yeah, the Yamaha.
Yeah.
The one I hit the tree with.
No, I don't think you should sell that. I think it's
Oh, no. Yeah, this thing.
one of the better ones. I mean, there's a lot more bikes in the garage.
I've spent a lot of time on this Talaria over like the last few weeks. I mean, the fork's been very good on this bike. I think the rear spring is just on the higher side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick loop just to see how it compares since I'm fresh off the RTR. Okay, I mean, obviously much larger bike. Oh my God, that is so much torque. Tighten up this display first. I really got to do something about this. It's just zip tied on right now because I have a Warp 9 stem lock on there, which kind of got rid of the mount for the nuclear display. Okay, that power is addicting. I'm pretty much just slipping around. Alright, so obviously as far as power, you can't really compare the two bikes since
This has pretty much twice as much power as the RTR. Definitely feels like a bigger bike overall when you're on there. This thing is stupid fast, but personally, I just like the flickability and how agile the RTR is. I don't know, it's a really hard call. There's just something about having a smaller bike that's a lot more enjoyable for me. You know, after riding both bikes back to back, I'm still having a hard time giving my opinion on this one. It was a super easy call with the Mantis R versus the RTR. For my personal needs, I think the RTR just has the perfect amount of suspension, power, acceleration, just to have fun around the property. And it's really not intimidating to ride it at all. I think 8,000 watts is just perfect. This Talaria is very intimidating to ride in tight spaces. 16 kilowatts, I had to turn it down to mode 2 for half that ride just because it just accelerates so hard. It's a little bit intimidating, the size of the bike. It just feels bigger, even though it looks like it's the same size side by side, but the Talaria just feels a little bit bigger somehow. It also just doesn't feel as agile as the RTR, but I really love both bikes. So let me know what you guys think. Which one do you think is the better bike, the Talaria XXX or the ETM RTR? One main advantage I noticed on the XXX is the bigger wheel and tire set. It just soaks up bumps and holes a lot easier than the smaller wheel set on the RTR. Like there's a couple ripples over here that it's almost like a freaking hole, and it just sucks in the front wheel in the RTR.
There is a bigger wheel set available for the RTR, but it's currently sold out. But this is definitely on my wish list. But the XXX just rides over it pretty easily. So that is one thing I'm going to give to the XXX. Obviously speed, it is significantly faster than the RTR because it is heavily modded and the RTR is completely stock. So we got to keep that in mind when we're comparing these two specific bikes. I think for this type of stuff that I like to do, if it was stock for stock, I would probably go with the RTR because I like riding on dirt, and the XXX came with some street tires on it. So obviously I wouldn't be able to do this type of stuff. The traction on the stock tires on the RTR are significantly better than the Shinko 241s on the Talaria. Considering these are stock tires, the knobbies did really well in the dirt, even though it was pretty damp outside today. Well, it just started pouring out of nowhere, so we should probably put these electric bikes away. If you want to get more information on the parts that I have installed on this Talaria, I'll have the full parts list in the description below. And if you want to get more information on the ETM RTR by Electro & Co., I will also have a link to their listing in the description as well. You can also save $160 off this bike by using discount code PATOutdoors5. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you like this kind of content, want to keep up with some of my projects, some of my rides, consider subscribing to this channel and turn your bell notification on. But this is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching.